A high quality woman deserves a high quality man. He should be worried about losing you. He should be thinking he has the greatest woman on the face of this earth. He should be feeling like, I never want to let this go. Understand that it is very important for us to have a good level of self-worth. You become infuriated and consumed with trying to get his attention, trying to be validated by this man who doesn't even belong in your life. Let's get right to it. Number one, well, not number one on the list. Number one thing I need to mention to you first is that the specific thing we're talking about here is high quality men. Now, some of you may be familiar with the term high value man. I purposely did not use that because high value man, if you don't know, has a very specific definition. It considers income. It considers the network of people that man is in, the impact on his society. There's a lot of things that go into that. And that's a very small group of men. This group I'm talking about is high quality men. This is more about the man being a desirable man, having his stuff together. Yes, being financially stable. Doesn't mean he's rich, but he's stable. He is able to contribute and provide for a woman. He's serious about relationships. So he is willing to give and do his part in a relationship and try to build something committed and work towards marriage because that is part of his goal. So we're talking about that kind of man when I say high quality man. So you're going to hear some things on this list and you might be like, well, that didn't work with this guy. Well, maybe he didn't qualify as a high quality man. So you can't say it's not accurate. It just didn't apply to that specific man. But anyways, let's get to it. So 7 habits that high quality men are attracted to. Number 1, being confident. Now that might sound like a no-brainer, but I need to break this down so you really understand the importance of this. Again, we laid out the fact that a high quality man is a desirable man. And in that desirability, he is going to have other women who desire him. All right. That's just the way it works. And because of that, when you're a woman who is not confident within yourself, you are going to struggle to be with this kind of man. You're going to have your insecurities pulled out, even if he's not doing anything wrong. You may be triggered because you've been through some things in the past. You may simply, because of insecurities or low self-esteem, question why he chooses you over the next woman, or you see a beautiful woman walks by that shows him attention, and that might make you feel some kind of way. So listen, all of that can turn into a lot of arguments, a lot of tension, a lot of insecurity that creates toxic energy in the relationship. Because again, there's nothing more frustrating than to be a man who's doing your best, who's putting your best foot forward, who is faithful, who's all about this woman, but because of how other women act, you're taking it out on me. You're making me responsible. And we're not talking about he's engaging or encouraging this behavior. We're simply talking about he gets attention because, again, he's a desirable guy. And so for you as a woman, it's important to build up your confidence so that you can be with that kind of man. Because a lot of women say they want this guy, but when they have him, they don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle it. It becomes very overwhelming. And I'm telling you, if you were to survey a lot of women, well, you know what? Some of them may not always be honest with you, but there are women who will admit that this has happened to them. And this may have happened to you. So it's very important to nip that in the bud by addressing any issues that might create insecurity. Now, going back to overall confidence, understand that confidence looks good on everybody, all right? And confidence makes you a more desirable person because the reality is that if you don't see your value, how can you expect someone else to? Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you may not completely see it and someone else can see it in you, but it is important that you establish embracing and seeing your value for yourself first. And again, working on that confidence. So you have to not just create or choose the mindset that says, I know my worth, I understand my value. No, you have to also create the habits that help you remain confident. Because the reality is, confidence is both a matter of mindset and results. And to give an analogy, if I'm a basketball player and I'm shooting a jump shot, okay, and I could be the greatest shooter, but if I miss the next 10 shots, I may start to lose confidence because now I'm not getting the results, all right? And so the key is the mindset says, keep going, keep believing, keep shooting, because eventually you'll start hitting those shots again. So how does that go over into dating and relationships? Well, as a woman, you may meet the next 10 guys, all right, and it doesn't work out. And forget, let's not even say 10 guys. Let's just say the next 3 guys, all right? And it doesn't work out for whatever reason. And it's very easy because you're seeing a lack of results that you now start to lose confidence. You start to question things about yourself. You internalize the disappointment. You internalize the fact that this did not work out and go in the way that you wanted to. But it's important that you don't do that. Because again, you have to do everything in your power with your mind to stay confident, to not internalize those things, to keep pushing forward. So that's one side of the mindset piece and also the results piece. But the other thing is, listen, it's also about the habits, the daily habits that help you feel better. The reality is that for some of you, when you put on a certain style of clothes or a certain outfit, you feel good because you like the way you look. Maybe because after you worked out that morning, you feel better, your blood's flowing, you're feeling good, and that creates more confidence in you. You have to recognize and locate what are the habits that are going to help you remain confident, feeling good, feeling positive, and implement that in your life. And if you don't have those yet, start to try different things. Yes, working out is going to be a big one. Just taking better care of ourselves overall. Finding that style of dress that really works for you, because it's not about looking how other people look. It's about looking your best, what's best for you and what you feel good in. All right. And so when you can locate these things and maintain that level of confidence, you're going to see amazing results. And yes, you will become more attractive to a high quality man. Second on the list of habits that are attractive to high quality men, being attentive. All right, so let me explain this and let me start this off with a personal story. I'm going to be a little transparent right now and expose myself. So listen, I remember one time went out. It was I guess you can call it a double date. I don't know if it was really a date. It was just an outing more so, to be honest with you. It was me, my guy friend, and 2 lady friends. And so we go out and we end up going to this lounge. All right, so we're at the lounge, we're chilling. And at this time, my friend orders a hookah. If you don't know what that is, it's something you can smoke. I'm not going to break the whole thing down. The point is, he ordered the hookah, yes, and I do at times will be willing to smoke a hookah. Anyways, the point is, he brings the hookah. The young lady who's next to me, who I guess is basically paired up with me in this situation, she goes and she takes the little piece that you use to smoke the hookah. She does little things to prepare it for me. Mind you, this is the first time I met this woman, all right? But she was very attentive. And when she did it, I was like, dang, that's really nice. That was really impressive. That caught my attention immediately because one, the average woman is not doing that. And for a lot of men to have a woman who is actually cares enough about making sure you're good, taking care of things for you, again, just being attentive, in essence, catering. I don't want to use the word serving, but technically that's what it was. All right. It was a level of servitude. But listen, of course, as men, we have to serve our women as well. But the point is, her being attentive in that moment really caught my attention and honestly, genuinely made her more attractive. Bottom line, she was already very attractive, but it definitely heightened the attraction when I saw that. So as women, you have to really tap into that attentiveness. A lot of you have it in you, but again, being attentive, catering to in that way, a lot of the issue is that there's pride getting in the way. And your pride says, well, why should I have to do this? Or he can do this for himself, or he should be doing it for me. And it's like, listen, don't do that. Stop all that. Put the pride to the side. Tap into your femininity. Tap into that side of you that you do have, because many of you are like that with children. Now, I know you're saying, well, this is a grown man. He ain't no kid. I get it. But when you can bring that same energy, it's going to be extremely beneficial. Now, granted, we want you to be doing this with men who are also making an effort, who are showing a willingness to provide for you in different ways. Absolutely. But you don't want to wait for that. You want to embody this attentive energy on your own, because again, it's about you walking in your power. All right. Not you letting other people dictate to you how to behave in that moment. It's you bringing your best. And if they show themselves not worthy of it, then don't deal with them. That's the bottom line. It's like, don't just stop being attentive and wait till some man shows himself worthy to finally let it out. Because in that approach, you're not going to attract the high quality man, because he's not going to see from you what he needs to see. Instead, lead with the right things, lead with the right energy. And then if he shows himself unworthy, remove him. All right. So be attentive, be willing to look out for that guy. Do the little thing. And again, it's just the little things. Another perfect example. I remember one time, this was years ago, went on a date, opened the door for the young lady, because I believe in chivalry. All right. So I open the door to my car for the young lady. She gets in. What does she do? She reaches over and opens my door. Do I require that? No. All right. Is that like a deal breaker if a woman doesn't do it? Absolutely not. But the fact that she did just shows a level of attentiveness that can separate her from the pack. All right. And again, make her more attractive, because it shows the man you're thinking about me too. You're not just here for you and your benefit. You're not just looking out for yourself. You're making sure this is a mutually beneficial relationship. All right. Or we're trying to build that right here. So it's a great sign when you can do the little things that show that you are attentive and care about him and making sure he's good. Now, before I get to number 3, real quick, I want to mention, if you want more advice, more help, more coaching, all right, I have a special membership program. It's called How to Manifest the Life and Man God Has for You. We meet 2 times a month. We do live Q&As. There's all kinds of extra bonuses. You be a part of a special Facebook group. If that is of interest to you, and I believe you will find it extremely beneficial, click the link in the description and click the link in the comment section, or go to receivingmyblessings.com. Sign up today. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. So now, number 3 on the list, being selective. So this might be a little weird, all right? But let me again explain as always. So what I mean by being selective, and let me admit first that this is not something every man's going to be privy to, because every man doesn't know who you deal with and who you don't. However, what I can tell you is that there are typically in a lot of women's lives a circle of men, maybe it be at work, maybe it be friends, colleagues, if you're in school, other students, whatever, who are always paying attention. There's always people watching, all right? And I think something that women don't realize is your selection in who you deal with can reflect poorly on you. And so what I mean is, a high quality man, again, he's serious about relationships, he's serious about pouring into his woman, all those wonderful good things, right? If he sees you deal with nothing but jokers, all right, low quality men that to him are so obviously garbage, that lowers your value in his eyes. For a lot of guys, that can happen. I'm not going to say it always happens like that, but that can happen where, again, those guys you deal with start to become a reflection of you. And in essence, in reality, there is a level of reflection of you. There's something going on within you that is allowing you to deal with these low quality men. So you want to be a woman who is selective. Of course, first for your own peace and sanity, for your own quality of life, for your own healthy relationships and avoiding toxic energy and damage, but also understand that, yes, those things will play into how other men view you. But in addition to how they view you, I mentioned the toxic energy. So it's both a thing that can be seen and a thing that is unseen, in the sense that, okay, on one end, if you deal with garbage men, and no disrespect to those men, but hey, some guys at the current time are garbage. At the very least, garbage for you. And so you're dealing with these dudes, men see this, and again, that now says, you know what, she's not worth what I thought she was worth. Or I don't want to deal with a woman like that who thinks dealing with those guys are okay, all right? But the unseen is you carrying the toxic energy from those low quality men onto your new relationship. You carrying that with you. Those things are attaching to your spirit in ways that you don't understand. And so now you are devaluing yourself all right, and hindering your energy, the right energy coming off of you because you keep involving yourself with low quality men. Now, I understand, this is what just hit my spirit right now. I understand that sometimes you get lonely. I understand that sometimes it feels like there aren't better options. Let me just deal with this. I know that all the different reasons why women entertain these men, even when they know they're not it. But I really want to encourage you to be patient. I want to encourage you to stay faithful. I want you to encourage you to understand that there is something great waiting for you. But yes, it's a process. All right. And it's not about even waiting. It's about preparing to receive. So we don't wait. We prepare to receive because we know it's going to come. All right. We believe it's going to come. And with that faith, we also put in the work to get ready for that time to come. And we don't allow ourselves to get caught up in these unhealthy situations in the meantime that can easily derail us. So yes, understand that being selective is important because now when that high quality man sees that you only deal with quality people, that increases your value. That reflects well on you, as well as the fact that you will no longer be carrying all that bad energy with you. So being selective is extremely important. So now we get to number 4. And number 4, the fourth habit that high quality men find attractive is a sense of humor. You gotta learn to laugh. All right. So if I've ever made any joke in a video and you ain't laugh, that's a problem. Right? That's a problem. What are you doing? You're supposed to laugh. Loosen up. Be easy. Listen, here's the thing. With all seriousness, high quality man, again, he's about his business. All right. He's already facing a world that brings so much negative energy. And granted, you are too. But understand this. And I think put yourself in this position because I think you'll understand why the sense of humor is so important. When you're dealing with a negative world, when you're dealing with maybe a stressful workplace, all these different things, the last thing you need is a partner who doesn't know how to lighten up. A partner who takes everything so seriously, easily offended, can't take a simple joke. That's a drag. All right, that weighs on you. And again, nobody really wants to deal with that. You don't really want to deal with that. And he definitely doesn't want to deal with that. But we're talking about high quality men. So that's where the focus is right now. He wants or he appreciates a woman who can have a good time, laugh, loosen up, crack jokes with him sometimes. Even if he's not a comedian of any sort, it's just good to know that we can laugh together, have fun together, smile together, and everything doesn't have to be this sensitive subject and tense and all these things. And so if you are someone who lacks a sense of humor, I believe that's simply due to built up tension, built up trauma, unresolved issues that harden us and don't allow us to take life more lightly. Don't allow us to be more loose and just enjoy ourselves. So again, I always mention it, you got to heal. And really the reality is that all these things you're hearing in this video start with healing. Like healing is going to help you tap into all these things more. It's going to help bring everything out. So be willing to do that. Be willing to go through that process because again, you want to release and remove as much negative energy as possible. We take in so much daily. We got to get rid of the stuff that we've been holding on to. And again, I give this message to men and women. It's just that this video right now is for you, the ladies. And so you've got to embrace that because it's such a huge step. And again, not just a huge step in attracting high quality men, but a huge step in you living a high quality life. All right. You being happier, more at peace, feeling better about yourself. That healing will unlock those things. All right. So have a sense of humor, loosen up. That is going to be very valuable. And now we get to number 5 on the list. And number 5 is putting effort into your appearance. Listen, all right. If you've watched enough videos from me, then you know I highlight the fact that attraction is important. And the reality is that high quality men desire, men in general, period, desire it. But the higher the quality of man, I think the more important it is, or the more he's going to hold strong to that. All right. Because the reality is that he knows at his level that he can have that. So why sacrifice that? Now, this doesn't mean you got to look like people on the internet or anything like that. And it's not that everybody has to look the same. You have your best version of you that you should tap into, all right? But what I said was, it's not about just looking good. It's about putting effort into your appearance. So one of the things I hear so much about from married couples, married men specifically, one of the things they complain about is their wife no longer putting in effort. The wife always walking around with sweatpants and whatever type of thing you put on your hair nets or whatever, okay, all that stuff, and just feeling like there's no effort. I had one young lady a couple months ago where her man, they weren't married yet, but her man was away for a while, came back, and felt like she used to wear makeup. He didn't expect her to wear makeup all the time, but he liked her getting dolled up a little bit. He wanted her to put some effort. And so when she stopped doing that, it started creating some issues. And what people don't realize or don't seem to highlight and talk about enough is the fact that it starts with little things like that, where, okay, they're feeling some kind of way because you don't put the effort into your appearance anymore. And then that turns into them acting, I don't want to say disrespectfully, but them doing things that can cause issues because they're basically acting out. All right. And because they don't feel comfortable possibly saying, well, you don't look the way I want you to look, or you don't put effort into it, they'll use something else. And then that turns into something else, and it just snowballs from there. But it starts with these little things like putting effort. So again, this is not about you got to look a specific kind of way, because what each man likes is going to vary. But it is about you got to be willing to make an effort. Or at least if you want to be more attractive to the high quality man you do. Yes, there are some men, there are exceptions to the rule where some men may not care at all. That's possible. But typically, this is going to be important. And typically, this is going to make you more attractive. And again, it's not just waiting till you're in the relationship, because you have to start those habits now. Put effort. Show up for life. Show up. Go outside. It doesn't mean, again, you got to get all dressed up and wear a dress and heels or anything like that. But just put a little bit of effort into how you look. And that will go a long way, as well as it will help you even be more confident when you step outside your house, which now that confidence becomes an attraction to that man. So it works in your favor in a various amount of ways. So yes, putting effort into your appearance, very important habit to embrace. All right, so now we get to number 6. And again, quick reminder, if you want to join my special coaching program, click the link in the description or the comments section, or go to receivingmyblessings.com. So number 6 on this list is just being feminine. Now, the reality is that a lot of things I've mentioned already pour into femininity, all right? But I'm going to expand a little bit more. And I want to start with this quick analogy or illustration that might help you understand the feminine energy a little bit better, all right? A lot of women will tell me they're not feminine. They're just, more masculine or whatever the case may be. And I would tell them, listen, that's not always true, to be honest with you, because I ask them, how are you around kids? And around kids, they're very loving, sweet, attentive, catering, all charming, all these things, right? The feminine energy flows out of them around children. But when a man comes around, feminine energy is all gone. Shut the whole thing down. The walls go up. It's over. And the reality is that it's not that these women, and that could be you, not that you lack the femininity, is that you are not comfortable exuding that with men. Because in this scenario, as I painted for you, the child is harmless to you. It poses no threat to your feelings and emotions. So in the space of being around the children, you're able to be vulnerable. Now, some of you still have a problem being vulnerable around kids too, because there's unresolved trauma and issues. But for most people, most women, they can be vulnerable and feminine around those kids because they're no threat. But the men are viewed as threats. The men are viewed as dangerous to your emotions and feelings. And so now you become much more guarded around them. So the key in understanding femininity, if that analogy or that illustration applies to you, then you have to think about, okay, how can I bring that energy I can bring around kids to men? I got to learn to be as comfortable around men as I am around children. I have to learn to walk with more faith and trust God to protect me rather than me trying to protect myself by being all super guarded. Because the super guarded creates all kinds of other issues. I tell people all the time, the same walls you have up to protect you are the same walls blocking your blessings. And that's what happens when you become this guarded woman who struggles to be vulnerable. Now, again, that stems from a lack of healing. So that's going to always be the key. But bottom line is tapping into your femininity overall is going to definitely be more attractive to high quality men, because high quality men tend to lean more masculine. All right. And with that are drawn to a more feminine woman. Bottom line. And so if you're struggling with those things, again, look into the healing. Look into the colors of the clothes you wear, because colors emit energy, all right? And they can set the tone for you in that day and how you come across. Again, taking better care of ourselves overall, how we eat, getting that sleep, being mindful of how much negative energy we're taking in, balancing that out with more positivity into our lives. All these things can help you stay more into your feminine, but you're going to have to practice it. Because many of you have become so detached from it that it doesn't feel normal anymore. It feels uncomfortable, to be honest with you. And so you want to start practicing not just when you're dealing with men, when you're dealing with people. Whether it be, again, kids, family members, friends, other women. Be that feminine woman, and you will see what's going to happen. It's going to turn your life around. It's going to be a very, very powerful tool. So being feminine. Huge habit or trait that is going to make you much more highly attractive or attractive to high quality men. And now last but not least, don't be a pushover. I'm going to repeat that. Do not be a pushover. Now you might be saying, well, Stephan, you just said be feminine and sweet and charming. Listen, all of that does not mean being a doormat. All of that does not mean letting some man walk all over you and treat you wrong and get away with murder. That's not what that means. You can be strong in your femininity. You can still draw the line. You can still say this is not acceptable here. And you need to, because again, this kind of ties into the being selective. When you allow people to mistreat you, that starts to reflect poorly on you. That starts to now damage your value, so to speak. And let me just say real quick, you can restore your value. If you have already gone through some of these things, you've already allowed yourself to get involved in a toxic relationship, or you're in one right now, I don't want you to think it's all over for you. No, you can break free. You can set yourself up for better. You can get yourself back where you belong and start exuding the true value that you have. But again, learning not to be a pushover is important, because it will, one, keep you from getting involved with the wrong relationships, keep you from allowing the wrong people to linger on in your life. But also, when you are dealing with that high quality man, he wants to know you can stand up for yourself. Like that high quality man, and I say we because I'm part of this. Right? We want a woman who, yes, is feminine, but again, doesn't just let people do whatever to her. We want to know you have that strength. It's about learning how to tap into that when necessary. See, going back to the whole feminine thing, understand that as human beings, we all have feminine and masculine energy within us, all right? But for the woman, it is advantageous for you to tap into your feminine energy as your dominant energy. But that doesn't mean there won't be moments where you may tap into a more masculine energy because it's needed in that moment, all right? But you don't let it consume you. You don't let it define you. You don't carry it constantly with you to where now it starts to damage you in a lot of different ways. So you can be feminine and be strong. Draw that line. Do not lower your standards. Do not let people get away with nonsense with you. No, show that you're a woman of quality, all right? When you say you're a queen, well, treat yourself like a queen. Hold yourself to that standard and expect that if a man wants to be with you, he has to embrace that. And when that happens, again, the man who is serious about you, the high quality man, he is going to respect that. He's going to love that about you. And that is going to make you so much more attractive. Now, listen, if you've been watching me for a while, then you know I'm not about tips and tricks that are manipulative acts to get the desires or to get our needs met. Though some of these things may sound that way, it's really about establishing good, healthy, positive relationships and then getting the positive results that come from that. All right. I also want you to understand that we don't want to make him worry in the sense of striking fear in his heart, all right, to where he's in panic mode or on edge or even feeling insecure about the possibility of losing you. No, but we do want him to see the value in the woman that you are, to understand that he has something special. But it's not just in him recognizing it through his own admission, it's also through you taking the steps I'm about to lay out that's going to ensure that he is going to worry or regret or be concerned about losing you. Now, I have a very important message at the end of this video, so please watch to the end because I always have something extra I got to give you. Some of you are coming to this video for this information, but there's something else you need to hear. So be sure to stay tuned. But let's get to it. Number one on the list of ways to make him worry about losing you is to be his peace. Now, I know some of y'all already shaking your head like, give me a break. Why I gotta be his peace? Why can't he be my peace? Listen, you came to find out how to make him worry about losing you. So, yes, you need to be his peace. Peace is something that men crave. And to be quite honest with you, a lot of men aren't getting it. A lot of men are in a relationship with a woman who may be a good woman, quote unquote, but that relationship is not filled with peace, not filled with joy. And so when there isn't peace, why would someone crave holding on to that? Why would someone be worried about losing that? If anything, they might be wondering, how the hell do I get out of this? Because nobody wants to come home to war. Nobody wants to deal with their woman being difficult and negative and all these things that only create more problems. No man wants to have to embrace a negative woman. So when you can learn to be his peace, you strengthen the relationship. But listen, it's not just about being his peace. How about be your own damn peace? You need peace. You can't be his if you're not yours. You got to understand how this works. You can't fake manufacture being this peaceful woman who brings joy and love when from within you are battling your own demons. You are going through your own issues. So please understand, because again, like I said, this isn't just about tips and tricks. This is about healthy things that are going to create healthy relationships. And that starts within you. So make sure if you need to go to counseling, go to counseling. If you need to resolve some things within you that's throwing things off, which I'll mention later about the things that we eat, our sleep, things of that nature that can really sway us in the right or wrong direction. Look at all of these things. Start to create that peace and joy within yourself so that it naturally comes out. So you won't find yourself trying to force yourself to put a smile on your face when you're not feeling that way. Now, some of you might be saying, how the hell am I going to be his peace when he brings me chaos, when he brings me nonsense, when he's the one causing problems? Well, again, I got an answer for that at the very end of this video, because there's a really simple answer. But again, we're going to leave that to the end of the video. Back to being his peace. At the end of the day, I can tell you from sitting down with so many men, and let me just give this important part, because I'm very big on connection, all right? And one of the things that I've seen with men who felt like they had a connection with a woman is that they all mentioned that they felt peace in her presence. So I'm only bringing that up simply because you can't force a connection. You can't just manufacture one. But the bottom line is, I want you to understand how peace is a part of the equation for a man to even feel like, damn, this is the one. This is the one I cannot let go. So if you want him to worry about losing you, find a way to be his peace. But again, be your own peace as well. Number 2 on the list that pretty much goes hand in hand with be his peace is speak love and positivity into that man. Now listen, even though I have a video about not dating mama's boys, right? I want you to understand that The reason why some men, not all men, but the reason why some men become mama's boys, become so attached to their mothers, is because she is that peace. She is speaking that love and positivity. She is the encourager. She believes in him. She uplifts him. These things draw that man to his mother, and they can draw him to you. When you become the source of positivity and love, he wants to be around you. When he has to go to work and deal with the nonsense of work, but he knows he has a woman that when he's in her presence only speaks love and positivity into him, he wants to be there. He doesn't want to be out and about when he can be relaxed next to the woman that makes him feel good. So learning how to speak love and positivity into that man, learning how when you guys are discussing things, not to go to the negative, not to always sound so pessimistic. It doesn't mean that you cannot be honest about how you feel. And sometimes your honest feelings may come across as negative or pessimistic. But again, it's not what you say, but how you say it. And learning how to convey your message in a more loving, peaceful, feminine manner is going to go a long way. And again, it causes you to be the person that he wants to be around, that he wants to talk to, that he cherishes. Now, as I mentioned in number one, it's easier to be positive and loving when you're at peace from within. When you're doing the things for you to feel better about yourself, to feel good, to have the energy that you need. So you do have to make sure that you are locating the negative influences in your life that throw you off from staying in that more positive and loving mindset. What is causing you to struggle, if it is a struggle for you, to do these things? If right now you're sucking your teeth or rejecting this idea of speaking love and positivity, why? Why are you so more inclined to think this is unrealistic and to think that being more negative or whatever we want to call it is what it should be or how it should be accepted? The reality is that you can achieve being a more positive, loving person, but you have blockage there. There's something that we have to remove. It may be trauma from childhood. It may be that you're not prepared to be fully vulnerable. And the reality is that being positive and loving requires a level of vulnerability. And because you struggle in that manner, you may tend to reject such ideas as this. But you have it in you. I want you to know that. You have it in you. You are capable. And again, understand that becoming that positive, loving person is not only going to make him worry about losing you, it has a positive effect on everyone in your life. Because again, the same woman who may struggle in her relationships, see struggle in other areas, see conflict in other areas, because that negative energy carries over into other areas of our life. So when we can learn to create more positive environments, whether that be at work or relationships with family, that tends to have the reverse effect. And now the positivity starts to spread. So we have to turn the tables in every area that we can to make sure we're walking in more love and positivity. But without a doubt, when you are that woman, he will be concerned about losing you. He will be worried about losing you. He will want to make sure he holds on to this, because I'm telling you right now, y'all see a world, and many of you say there's so many good women, but there's not a lot of positive women. There's not a lot of sweet, loving women. Not like you think it is. Not when it comes to being in a relationship. Some of these women may act all sweet and loving on the surface, but behind closed doors with that man, they are hell. They are trouble. It is not what you think it is. I said that all wrong. It's not what you think it is, okay? So please understand that when you can bottle that up and become that positive, loving woman, that's a powerful force. And that's something that he will regret or he will worry about losing. Number 3 on the list is you're going to find out his specific needs and desires and then actually implement these things or actually provide these things. Now, here's something that's very important. One, I have to mention, if you notice on this list, none of this stuff is like we're going to nag him into doing what you want, or we're going to take some negative approach. Everything here is positive, healthy energy to get you what you're looking for. So now going back to finding out his needs and desires, one of the greatest mistakes of women is that they assume what this man wants. They assume, well, this is what I've been taught to believe should make him happy, rather than learning what actually makes him happy. So they do things based off their own logic or their own assumptions, and they don't realize it doesn't always connect with what that man was looking for. It's almost like you're with this man and you say, what would you love for your birthday? And he says, you know what? I would just love a box of pizza, some liquor, me and you watching a movie, and we have some sex. I'm just throwing that in there because that's what some guys would say. All right. Now, you hear this and you say, you know what? He needs a new wallet. Let me go get him a wallet. No pizza, no liquor, no sex, no nothing. Just the damn wallet. And in your mind, you're thinking he should be so happy because he needed this wallet. But in his mind, it's like, I asked for those things. That's what I appreciate that you're so thoughtful, that you recognize I needed this and this is a useful gift, but there was a different need that I wanted to be met and you ignore that. And I give you just a simple example, but this happens in so many ways with women where what he's actually desiring is not connecting with what you're trying to pour into. So when you take the time to find out his needs and desires specifically to him, and then you pour into that, oh my gosh, you immediately become a woman like no other, because the average woman does not do that. The average woman does not take the time to find out. The average woman does not actually pour into those specific things. Now, let me throw a caveat. It is possible that what he needs or desires may be beyond your value system. All right. They may cross a line that you are not comfortable with. I'm not going to tell you to compromise your beliefs or your values to satisfy any man. So that is where, okay, well, maybe this is an indicator that we're in the wrong relationship, that we see things differently, because now you will be able to see clearly you are unwilling or not capable of fulfilling his specific desires. And you can't just sweep it under the rug and say, well, he just has to deal with it, because anything that's left as a void leaves the door open for someone else to fill it. Not saying that's okay, not validating it, not saying it's right. I'm telling you, this is what happens. So if you notice that this is a void you can't fill, then maybe this is an indicator, unless it's something super simple that he generally feels like it's not that big of a deal. Other than that, then that may tell you, okay, we got to just keep it moving and move in a different direction. But to get back to the main point, find out what he needs specifically, find out what he desires, tap into that. And when you do, and not just tap into it once, not just tap into it for his birthday, no, consistently. The same way you don't want a man only doing the things you really like when it's a special occasion. You want him to take initiative to do that on regular days too. It shouldn't just be when it's a special day to get these things that you really, really want. So it's the same thing for him. Be consistent with those things. Keep pouring into it. And I'm telling you, when that happens, this man is not going to want to lose you. Plain and simple. Which brings me to number 4. Start taking better care of yourself. Now, this one encompasses so many different angles here. All right. So 1, let's start with what we kind of touched on in some of the earlier keys. As I said, it is very difficult to be positive, loving, to be his peace, and all these different things when you're not feeling good within yourself, when you're cranky, when you're lacking energy. So taking better care of yourself, phase 1, is simply about getting yourself into a better place mentally, spiritually, emotionally. All right? Because that is what's going to give you or the strength to be able to pour that positive energy and love. That's what's going to help you have a better mood, because people don't realize what you eat can affect your moods. Your lack of sleep can affect your energy. Your lack of drinking water. These are very simple things. Start taking better care of yourself. Taking a break from all that life is throwing at you. So many of you literally have no days off throughout the week. You have work, you may have school, you may have kids, your relationship, but you have not one day to just relax and recharge. This is important for you to have, because again, it's not just important for the sake of your own health, but this is what's going to allow you to bring your best self to the relationship. which then by bringing your best self makes him desire you more, makes him appreciate you more, makes him want to hold on to you more. Plain and simple. So many people are bringing their lower level selves. So many people are bringing their depleted self to the relationship and saying, hey, deal with it. Hey, you make me feel better. Hey, you figure this out. No, you figure it out. You get yourself right. Bring your better self to your partner and watch the difference that makes. Yes, they still have to pour into you. They still are a contributor to the overall positivity and happiness of the relationship. But you've got to come with that great energy on your own to start with. So start taking better care of yourself health-wise so you can start feeling better and pouring these positive things into your relationship. But now here's the other angle of this. Take better care of yourself as far as your appearance. Now, some of y'all may not like that, and you might, be getting a little tight right now. But listen, hear me out. Again, I know we've all heard it. You've all heard it, men being very visual. But notice something. I did not say, or I will not say to you, look a certain way. Because different men like different things, all right? And so when I say take better care of yourself physically, first, let's recognize what was that presentation that drawed him in? What's that presentation that he likes? Because for some of you, I'm not going to say to everyone, oh, you need to get really slim, right? Because in some of your relationships, that man may be wishing you gained 5 extra pounds. In another relationship, it may be losing 10 pounds, all right? Now, listen, I know some of you may be saying, well, I shouldn't have to do that for any man. Listen, if you want him if you want to tap into that thing that makes this man happy and raises his desire for you, and then creates that environment where he is trying to hold on to you, and he will now do what he's supposed to do even more to make sure he does not lose this amazing, great thing he has, then yes, physical attraction will play a role. Because we don't get into romantic relationships to not have physical attraction. This is where we're supposed to be able to enjoy the dynamic of physical attraction. Now, granted, he needs to do his part too, but this ain't about him right now. This is about what you can do better. So you have to find that what I call, or like to call, that happy zone. That place where you feel good about you, you're comfortable. We don't want you to do anything that's going to be unhealthy trying to look good for him, all right? We also don't want you to do anything unhealthy that takes you too far and deviates from what looks good to him. We want you to find that nice place where, okay, your man loves how you're looking, you love how you're looking, you love how you're feeling. It's all coming together. And again, it's going to vary from person to person. So I'm just going to say, find your best self. Find your most effective presentation in that relationship within the dynamic of also it being healthy, all right? At least some level of healthy. This is where you're going to strike gold, so to speak, all right? And this is what's going to have a very strong impact on the relationship, plain and simple. So be very mindful of that, but definitely being in shape. And when I say in shape, because understand we can be different weights and still be in shape, all right? Being in shape or being fit is kind of universal in the sense that you still want to be able to handle things in physical fitness. So I think it's good to strive for that regardless of whatever weight you settle in on. That's going to be good. Again, it's going to be good for you, how you feel, the impact on the relationship, your ability to have a greater energy, greater focus. All these things come together and create an amazing environment and an amazing relationship. So yes, start taking better care of yourself if you want him to worry about losing you. Next on the list is learn how to listen to this man. And not just that, I had to add this in. And learn how to use some logic. Now listen, don't be offended by that. Hear what I'm saying, okay? I think one of the greatest complaints I hear from men. Okay, let me backtrack a little bit. Listen, be transparent, use some logic. Now, here we go. Let's take it from there. One of the biggest complaints I hear from men is a lack of transparency from the woman. It's this situation where it's like you're expecting him to read your mind. You're expecting him to understand without you clearly breaking things down for him. that can be very frustrating. That can be very annoying, which now robs the peace out of the relationship, can create negative energy in the relationship. Do you see how now it pours over into the things that we're trying to avoid? All right. Now, granted, a man should learn to be in tune with his partner and learn how to read things without her having to say every last word all the time. But if you're trying to do your part in creating a better relationship and making him desire you even more, then yes, being more transparent is going to be a huge deal. So one, speaking your mind, and again, expressing yourself in a calm, loving manner, because not what you say is how you say it. Also being able to listen to him. So kind of going back to that point of learning his needs. He say he wants the pizza and the liquor. Don't go do something else. Okay. Get him what he says. Listen, hear him, understand him. All right. And I think one of the biggest struggles that women have is that when you become so used to dealing with bad men, with liars and manipulators, you assume everything coming out of a man's mouth is trying to throw you off the track, or it's a lie, or it's something not what he's saying. And you've got to understand, if you believe this is a good man, and I would assume that if you're trying to make him worry about losing you, you've deemed this man worthy of holding on to in your eyes, whether you're right or wrong, that's what you're perceiving it as, then be transparent. Be willing to listen, all right? And when I threw the part in there about using logic, don't get me wrong. I want you to be who you are. And as women, there is more of an emotional wiring that goes on within you. And that's fine. I don't necessarily want you to reject that. But I do want you to become emotionally mature enough to not allow emotions to run you, to not allow the emotions to throw you off in moments where simple logic would have saved the day. All right, would have made things very simple and easy. And again, when you're dealing with a man, he understands, or it's easier for him to understand the logic than it is the emotions. And so there has to be a balance there so that you guys can be on the same page. You guys can understand each other. Again, I'm not going to remove all responsibility from men to be better in tune with the woman's emotions, but I do want to encourage the woman to add more logic and to take a step back. Don't just react off of how you're feeling all the time. Think, breathe, pray. You know what I'm saying? Then make your next move. Then say what you need to say. Then do what you need to do. This will again also help to avoid a lot of chaotic situations, because a lot of things go left when people react off emotions, men or women. When people don't take time to think, process, pray, and they just react emotionally, things can go left very fast, and people jump way too far ahead of themselves and get themselves in more trouble than was necessary. So learn how to use more logic in the relationship, which will, again, I believe, create better peace, better balance, and again, make him much more appreciative of the woman he has in front of him. Number 6 on this list, and I know this video has been going on for a lot longer than I planned, but stay with me, because again, I got an important message at the end you need to hear. So we're going to try to speed up these last few, all right? Create your own world within the relationship. Now, here's what I mean by that. As a woman, if your whole world is your man, that can become a problem. All right. You could end up smothering him. You could end up becoming, I don't even want to say the word clingy, because I do believe that when two people are madly in love, they don't necessarily view it as clingy, but you can become overly needy. You can become draining at some point because you don't know how to have a world outside of him. I once had a client who said she could not be anywhere her man wasn't, simply because she was too bored by herself. She would, if he left the house, she would start calling his phone, not because she was worried about what he was doing or anything like that. She just did not know how to operate outside of her man. And so that can wear down a guy. That can become a problem. Like, he may love you and he loves your attention and he loves your desire of him, but damn, like there comes a point where I need you. Go get some friends. Go do a hobby. Volunteer somewhere. Create a world for yourself. Now, again, I think it's a world that you should be able to, if at any moment there's a desire for it, share with your partner. So I don't want you to create some secret world that you keep separate from your guy. What I'm saying is make sure you are still enjoying you. Make sure you're still exploring the world in different ways. Again, for some of you, that might be a part-time job, or that might be at your job. It might be that hobby. It might be that volunteer work. It might be a new group of friends. It might be starting some new hobbies and pastimes, whatever. And the great thing about this, of creating your own world, is when now you have this balance of, I know how to have fun with or without him, your level of positive energy and love rises more consistently. All right? Because now, even when you're not with him, you're doing things you enjoy. And now when you reconnect with him, you're bringing all that fun and positive energy and excitement you just experienced. And now you can share with him. Now you guys have more things to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really helps to strengthen and grow the relationship when two people can have worlds they can share together, and that they can pull happiness and joy from different areas of life, not just putting all that responsibility on their partner. So creating your own world, enjoying yourself, I'm telling you, it's going to have a very great and positive impact on the relationship, and it will make him cherish and love you even more. Number 7 is learn how to balance the relationship. So we're going to make this one really quick. Here's the thing. In a fight for equality in a relationship, we've lost what I believe is the true essence, and that's balance. All right? And when you really examine long, successful relationships, and successful is not simply two people staying together. We're talking about two people who happily stayed together, two people who enjoyed each other, who wouldn't trade each other for the world. All right? What you find is balance. You find two people working together as a team, learning how to balance each other out. It isn't, well, we have to do 50% of the chores here and you do 50%. It isn't, everything has to be split down. No, it's just, okay, I'm going to handle this, you're going to handle that. Where I'm weak, you find strength. You become strong and handle that. Where you're weak, I am your strength. We now counter the things that we struggle with, and we become this full unit that together we can conquer the world. When you identify and create that balance, you become a much more valued asset in a relationship. Because if you're simply bringing to the table everything he brings to the table, it creates this world of, okay, well, now I still need to find other things to fill in the blanks to be able to handle these things. But when you can be the person that, okay, I'm just using this as an example. If I am not great at managing things, all right, but you are awesome at managing stuff, now we're going to have a great balance where I can say, okay, I can rely on my partner to know how to run this stuff because I'm the doer, she's the manager. And now we have this balance that we create. If we're both managers, we may actually end up butting heads. If we're both doers, we don't have anyone to manage the situation. And again, I'm just giving us an example, but the point is identifying where you can pick up and create balance in that relationship makes you extremely valuable and makes you a woman he will be worried about losing, because now you become such a strong necessity. You become like, I think about it. When you balance someone out, for them to lose that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be huge. So now, again, we don't want to scare people into losing you, but at the same time, that is gonna be like, man, I can't afford to lose someone who has brought so much balance to my life. So locate where you can create that balance and build on that. And that is going to be very, very powerful thing in the relationship. All right, number 8, and you know what? Because like I said, this video's been going for a minute and I still got that special message you need to hear. I'm gonna tie number 8 and 9 together, all right? Number 8 was give consequences and rewards. Number 9 is be willing to walk away. So those two things kind of go hand in hand, because the be willing to walk away is part of giving consequences. Here's the thing. Again, though the focal point here is not to create fear in someone in order to make them worry about losing you, they do have to respect and understand that if they're not going to do their part, they don't get to reap the benefits of you. Everything in life has consequences. You don't go to work, you can get fired. You don't pay your mortgage, you can lose your house. We can go on and on and on. Everything has consequences, yet society, or there are many people in society who want to create relationships where you need to tolerate whatever BS and never walk away. And the thing is, if someone feels like no matter what they do, no matter what negativity they bring, you will never leave them, you already lost the relationship. Because it is almost human nature to start to slack off, to start to take advantage of the fact that you know you will not be held accountable for your bad actions. Because the reality is that, yes, there's some days you may not feel like doing certain things, or you may not have the full strength for it, but when you know this is necessary for your relationship, and when you know if you don't keep doing your part, you can lose this amazing partner, you find that strength to do what you need to do. But when, again, there's no consequences, well, no big deal. This doesn't need to happen today. Oh, no big deal. She could suck it up. No big deal. He could deal with this. No. So when I say there has to be consequences, meaning, listen, I want you to establish in a relationship where he understands he does his part, he will get the best of you. He will get everything he dreamed of and more. But if he doesn't, he can lose it. If he doesn't, he will not get all those things in return. It is a reward system. It is a give and take. Again, please separate love and relationships, because you can love someone. You can love them no matter what they look like, no matter what they do. But in order to have a successful romantic relationship, there are conditions. There are standards and requirements that have to be met. And if he is unwilling to meet them, then he has to know that, yes, he can lose this woman. He can lose you. So once you've established that and you show him that you're serious, you can't say to a man, if you do this, I will leave you. Then he does it and you don't leave. You shot yourself in the foot. Even if you plan to one day come back, you better hold true to your word, or don't even say things you can't back up. Because all you're going to do is make yourself look bad. But bottom line, and I feel like we gotta have a whole video just for this, just for the establishing this kind of dynamic and being willing to walk away. But the bottom line is, he must know that in order to keep you, he has to do his part. And when that's established, yes, now he will know there will be that worry of losing you if he's not holding up his end of the bargain. And that's a healthy and good thing. Trust me. So now, I told y'all at the end I had an answer to it. What if he's the one bringing you to chaos? What if he's the one causing all these problems? So you've come to this video trying to find out how to make him worry about losing you. But I'm here to tell you, maybe you're best losing him. Maybe you're best not having this man in your life. Listen, I want you to implement all these positive, loving, healthy things in your relationship. But please understand that, yes, if you're with the wrong man, you're with the wrong man. And if anything, taking these steps will magnify even more whether he's right for you or not. Because if you do all the stuff on this list and he's still not acting right, there's nothing else to discuss. There's nothing else to explore. There's no more other videos to look at other than how do I let him go? Or when it's time to walk away. Because now it's time. Now you need to recognize this guy's not it, because you gave him your best and he still fell short. But if he's for you, if he's serious about you, if he's at least truly invested in the relationship and you do all this, he will step up. He will step up. He maybe even go above and beyond, because there's no way a genuine, loving man can receive all this goodness and still act a fool. It don't happen. Now, let's get into 5 ways to increase your self-worth. Now, first and foremost, understand that it is very important for us to have a good level of self-worth. When we have a low self-worth, we will find ourselves in more toxic situations, entertaining people and things that don't belong in our life. We will find ourselves in greater levels of depression, unhealthiness. So much can go wrong because we lack self-worth. And I don't want that to happen to any of you, man or woman. So I want to give you some guidance on how you can start improving in this area right away, because doing so is so essential to living a higher quality of life. All right. And also it's God didn't put you on this earth to have low self-worth. You are worthy. You have great value. You are someone special. All right. And you deserve wonderful and amazing things. And I want you to embrace that reality. So here are some steps. Number one, stop taking things personally. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but taking things personally is one of the greatest deteriorators of self-worth. Because when we take things personally, we internalize the things that people say and do to us, or even just what we come across, and we personalize it rather than realizing it's not always about us. And when we learned how to not to take things so personally, how to not be so offended by everything someone says, you will find yourself being able to stay on a more positive path, how to keep your mind in a healthier place. All right. So it's important to guard yourself in that way. And again, not guard yourself as in have walls up. Just guard yourself in the sense that I'm not going to let this negative energy penetrate my spirit, penetrate my mind, because then it can wreak havoc within our body, in our emotional state, and cause all kinds of problems, as well as mentioned, decreasing our self-worth. So even the people who have done things to you in the past, it's a symptom of hurt people hurting people. They did it because they're caught up in their own emotions. It's not really about you, all right, or how they're even viewing you in that moment. It's about the issues within them. So do not internalize it. Do not take things personally. Learn how to shake it off. Again, this will take some time to master, so practice it, all right? Practice choosing not to be offended. You can make that choice. I hear things being said about all kinds of, about men, about black men, or about whatever. I don't get offended. You know what? That's y'all problem. It ain't mine. I'm not letting that put me in a negative place. That's how I want you to approach it. Like, you know what? Let those people talk all the negativity they want. It has nothing to do with you. Even when they want to attack you, they're attacking you because they have issues. Plain and simple. All right. So do not internalize. Do not internalize. Now, number two, start setting some goals in your life. All right. It is hard to have great self-worth when we don't feel like we're doing anything with our lives, when we don't feel like we've accomplished anything. However, being productive, all right, reaching goals, accomplishing things makes us feel better. Period. That's just the way it works. And so it will be very good and healthy for you to start setting some goals. Now, they can be some long-term ones, some short-term ones. I think you should have a mixture of all, because you want to make sure you give yourself small goals to easily accomplish, all right, but can create momentum, a momentum of progress and productivity. Then you want to have the kind of those mid-level goals. And then you want to have the bigger ones, all right? And some of them might be, all right, you got some weekly goals, maybe some daily goals. You got some goals for the next 6 months, the goals for the year. And you don't have to look too far ahead. I don't really believe in like saying, okay, well, I got to be here in 5 years, because so many twists and turns can happen in our life. But at the very least, I can shoot for things this year. At the very least, I can focus on what I need to accomplish this week. And again, when you start to feel more productive, when you're hitting your goals, it's going to make you feel better about yourself. All right. As well as keep you in a more positive mindset, keep you productive so that you are growing as an individual. And in that growth, you're going to gain even more self-worth as well. So it just works very well when you set goals in your life. So start identifying some things and let's make that happen. Number three, learning how to be alone and happy. Now, let me be very clear here. I don't mean you need to be alone forever. I don't mean you need to be such a loner that you don't want anyone around you. I mean that you need to get to a place where you don't need other people in order to generate happiness in your life. All right. That you, even when you are alone, can still create and be happy, can still be positive, that you are not at the mercy of having company. You're not at the mercy of having to be in a relationship, because those who are afraid to be alone start to entertain and tolerate individuals who don't belong in their life. They start to not have a high level of self-worth because they desperately want to attach themselves to anyone who can provide them with companionship. And this is going to set you on a path of more brokenness and damage. So again, the goal isn't to be alone forever. The goal isn't to not want anybody around you ever. The goal is simply finding peace and happiness when you are by yourself. You may still desire a partner in a relationship. You may still have even more fun when you can be around people, because some of us are just more social than others. That's perfectly fine. But you have to have mastered your aloneness, your solitude, in a way that it doesn't drive you to a negative place and into dealing with the wrong people and in the wrong situations. That's the key. And when we can do that, we will increase our self-worth, and we will value not just the time we give to others, all right, and the time that we pour into ourselves as well. So it's important, very important, to learn how to be happy while you are alone. So next on this list, number 4, is start taking better care of yourself health-wise. So listen, I'm just going to run through it really fast, because at the end of the day, when we feel better, all right, and when I say feel better, when we start to take better care of ourselves and we start to feel better from a physical sense, our mind starts to be more positive. We start to be more happy. We start to be more productive. When you're not taking care of yourself, you start to be more fatigued, more stressed out. You may get more anxiety. So much can go wrong because we are not giving our body what it needs, all right? And we're running it ragged. We're letting life run us into the ground. You've got to take control of that and take steps towards greater health. You need more sleep, all right? You got to get some rest. Too many of you are operating off 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and that's not enough for you. You need time to relax and recharge. You need more hydration, drinking more water, all right? The body is consumed or is made up of mostly water. It's essential to our bodies. And when you start to drink enough and more water, and quality water as well, all right, because there is something to that, then that's going to play very well in your mood, in your energy, in your focus, and so on. You got to start to eat better. All right, now I know we're not going to all choose the same things. I'm a plant-based eater. I highly believe in it. I think you should consider it, but I know everyone's not going to go that route. Even if you don't want to become plant-based, just start making better choices with the food you eat. Start limiting the processed food. Start limiting the sugar. Start limiting the dairy. Start limiting the things that don't agree with your body. And so you can go get a food allergy test. You know what I'm saying? You can go get a blood type test. See what foods now agree with your blood type. What foods will your body react to negatively, so that you can start creating a diet. And when I say diet, more of a lifestyle of eating that's going to be more beneficial to you, all right? So be mindful of that. And of course, exercise as well. Listen, we're not going to all be buff and lifting weights in the gym, but get some kind of activity in your daily routine, or at least a few days out of the week. You want to get the blood flowing. You want to get things going, because again, when we start to feel good internally, all right, we start to feel good about who we are emotionally and mentally. We start to have a greater level of self-worth because we like what we see in the mirror, because we have a more positive outlook, because our minds are not being contaminated by the negative things that we have been putting in our body previous to this video, because I'm going to believe that you're going to make the changes and you're going to start to see the positive results. So start taking better care of yourself if you want to increase your self-worth. And last but not least, number 5 is you need to heal from your past. All right. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I have the book Love After Heartbreak, which literally gives you the steps to healing. It is my Stephan Speaks healing method that I've given to thousands of clients in the past, and it has worked for them. I'm not just saying that, that's for real. Those who have done the steps have seen the results, have seen the progress, have completely changed their lives in a positive manner. So this book lays it out for you and a lot of other things you need to start to understand. Get your copy, click the link below in the description or in the comments section, also available on Amazon. But anyways, to get back to this healing thing, a lot of people lack self-worth because they're still holding on to the damage from their past. It goes into the internalizing of what people have done to us and how we've dwelled in it, how maybe you swept it under the rug and you thought you were fine, but you're not, all right? And how we're holding on to these negative experiences that have now shaped the way that we view ourselves. All right. And we have to let go. We have to process these emotions. We have to release this negative energy from our spirit so that now we can get back to a healthier place. You can't be trying to pile a bunch of good things like, okay, well, I'm going to now say affirmations and I'm going to do these positive things that I mentioned earlier in the video, which is great. You should, but you can't overlook the healing part because all you're doing is piling good stuff on a messy foundation. You gotta get rid of the garbage, so to speak. All right, you gotta flesh that out, and when you do, you're gonna be able to absorb the positive things even more, and you're gonna be able to feel better about yourself, and you're gonna have a renewed sense of self and a renewed sense of love and life and just all that awaits you in this world. So be sure to heal, and I feel the need to say this right now. For some of you, your brokenness stems from anger or resentment you have towards God. Some of you feel like God lets you down, all right? And in the book, it explains how God may be someone you have to address in order to heal. But I want you to know that God loves you. God has always been there for you, but sometimes we don't understand the method to the madness. We don't understand the process we are being taken through, but if we lean on God and we trust Him, then know you will get what is good for you. Your life will become better than you could have ever expected. And despite all that you've been through, you are still blessed. You still have so much to live for and so much to look forward to. And my spirit just felt the need to share that with you. But again, it just boils down to you need to heal. And when you heal, you will be able to have a greater level of self-worth. So again, I hope and pray this video was helpful to you. If you are struggling with self-worth, again, get the book. Start working on these things. I truly believe you're going to see great results if you put these things into action. Now, I'm just going to be real with you. I looked at this topic and I said, this is not healthy. This isn't the right way to do things. Listen, there are some things that psychologically you can do to quote unquote make him miss you. But what you got to ask yourself is if you have to go through all of that, are you even with the right guy? What you should have to do if you feel like your man is neglecting you or it doesn't seem like he misses you is simply talk to him. When you engage in these tips and tricks to make him miss you, you are creating a more dysfunctional environment in your relationship. So for example, one tip that floats around is don't say to him that you miss him or pull back on your communication. But let me explain something to you. If you're dealing with the wrong guy, number one, it may not even faze him. So you might pull back communication, you might not tell him you miss him, and he doesn't care. And now you become infuriated and consumed with trying to get his attention, trying to be validated by this man who doesn't even belong in your life. So now you've played yourself because you're trying to get someone to react who doesn't give a damn about you. But let's just say he actually does care about you. And life got the best of him and he has lost sight of what you need and the attention that he's not giving you. Well, when you pull back that communication, now he starts to think you don't love him. You don't care about him anymore. Now he may react in dysfunction to your dysfunctional reaction. And that's not to insult you, but I got to call it what it is. We can't play these games and think we're going to get a positive result from it. It's only going to create more chaos and confusion. So the best approach always is to talk to the man, because if he truly loves you, if he truly cares about you, then you simply making it known that you don't feel valued, you don't feel missed, you feel neglected, will get his attention and cause him to want to do better. Whereas if he doesn't care about you, he will expose himself in that conversation. But I feel the need to tell you that, listen, you've got to be real honest with yourself, because some of you have seen the red flags. Some of you have seen that man does not care enough about you or isn't fully invested in you. You've already said it to him. You've already shouted it from the rooftops, and he still has changed nothing. Why are you still there? Why are you looking for videos on how to make him miss you? The answer is right in front of your face. He's not for you. And you got to stop beating the dead horse and think you're going to make this thing change or make him want you more. Yes, you may get him to want you more in the moment, but if he's not truly into you, it's not sustainable. So what are you going to do? You're going to all the time look to play a certain game, push a certain button whenever you don't feel like you're getting the love for him that you deserve? No. If talking to him is not enough, that means he needs to be removed from your life. And you should not have to engage in this tit for tat and all this little playing of games and mental games just to get him to show you more love and attention. You got to recognize when you're dealing with the wrong person or when you're dealing with the right guy who simply needs to be reminded of what you need. Because it can happen. Life can get the best of someone, and sometimes people don't realize how they've fallen off in certain ways. But again, all it takes is an honest, transparent conversation. But let me also say this before we wrap this up. If you really want him to miss you and he's the right guy for you, make sure that you not only make it known to him, but that you pour more love into that man. Listen, you're not going to get love and positive energy by pouring negativity into the situation. You've got to up your game, because in being caught up in how you feel, you may not be realizing that you're neglecting him too. That you're not giving him what he needs in certain areas. So be sure that when you come to that conversation, don't just make it about what you feel is lacking, that he's not doing for you, but open yourself up to hearing what he has to say about your behavior or what you may be neglecting. And when you can do that and both of you guys can get on the same page, now you can have a healthy resolution to this issue and truly get what you both deserve. So I hope that helps. And I'm sorry if you were looking for more specific tips, but I don't want you engaging in unhealthy behavior. I want you to go about this the best way possible to get the best results and to only entertain and deal with someone who is truly best for you. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Listen, dating can be a lot easier than you think. It can feel like it's not worth it at times, but I feel like it's because we're not taking the most effective approach. In a relationship, trying to determine if this person really loves you, but if you actually